Cabling basics. There are 8 wires in a jacket, 4 pairs of wires in the jacket that are twisted in a set of 2. The blue pair, which is blue, white, and blue, are used typically for data. Green pair, which is green, white, green, commonly used for power over Ethernet. Can be used to transmit and receive depending on the standard. You would use power over Ethernet for phones as well as access points. And any other device that requires power but does not have a power adapter, you would use it over the Ethernet cable. There's an orange pair, which is orange, white, orange, and can be receive or transmit depending on the standard. And lastly, the brown pair, which is brown, white, brown, and can be either not connected or send data. Cable categories are used for standardization. They explain the type of pairs, they explain the distance and speed the cable is rated for, and it explains the connectors. Common category types, there's category 3, 5, 5E, and Cat 6. Cat 3 is normally used for voice. You can use it for speakers or analog phones. Connected for faxes, they use an RJ11 or RJ45 connector. Can be used up to 16 megabits a second, and the max length of the cable can be 328 feet. And as you look up in the upper right here, that is what a Cat 3 cable looks like on the inside. Next in the middle is an RJ45 connected to a Cat 3 cable. And on the bottom is the RJ11, which you commonly use in fax machines and phones. Cat 5 is used in faster networking than a Cat 3. It can go 10 megabits up to 100 megabits. Uses an RJ45 connector. It is used for networking. On the left, you can see the twisted pairs, and on the right, you can see it with an RJ45 connector. Cat 5e is faster than Cat 3 and Cat 5. Can be used for 100 megabits per second up to a gig. Uses an RJ45 connector as well. It is used for networking. You will see it in some office buildings still if they haven't upgraded, and the max length is also 328 feet. And as you look at the upper right, you will see a Cat 5e cable, a Cat 5 cable, and Cat 5e with a connector. And in the lower right, you see what an inside Cat 5e cable looks like. Cat 6 is a current recent standard. It is faster than the 5 and the Cat 3. It is up to a gig or higher. Max length 328 feet as well. You'll see a RJ45 connector on the left, and on the right you will see what it looks like in the jacket. You can get cable in bulk, which usually either comes on a spindle, which is on the right, or comes into a box. This is cheaper than patch cables and used to run cable from desk to patch panels in a network closet. These are patch cables. They're pre-made cables with ends already made. They're cut to a pre-made length and can be used at the PC, networking equipment, or servers. They can come up to a half a foot up to 100 feet. You see on the left a 1 foot patch cable, and on the right 100 foot patch cable. Standards are EIA, TIA, which is Electronic Industry Association, Telecom Industry Association 568. You can also see it as American National Standard Institute, ANSI 568. There is an A and a B, which talks about the color standard of the wire connections. Both use the 8-pin connector called an RJ45, and you must use the same standard on both sides so that you can get a connection. 568A starts with a green pair in pin 1. Must be A on both sides for cables to make a connection. You can see on the left here the pinout. On the right what it looks like on an RJ45 connector, and all the way to the other right is what the pin designation is. Standard B starts with an orange pair in pin 1. That must be again B on both sides for cables to make a connection. On the left you'll see the pairs and the colors. In the middle you'll see what it looks like in an RJ45, and on the right you see an RJ45 connector. RJ45 connector is an 8-pin connector. It's used to connect to PCs, patch panels, networking equipment. Wires are connected to the pins on the inside of the connector. They have a tab to keep the cable secure in the device, and again they use 8 pins. Looking to the right picture there, you'll see what it looks like with the tab up and with the tab down. Sometimes you'll find in offices where in desktops where there are laptops, people will break the pin tab so that they can easily plug the cable and pull it out. RJ11 is a smaller connector than the RJ45. It only has 6 pins and is used to connect analog phones and fax machines. These are network jacks. These are Cat 5e or Cat 6 jacks. Uses the TIA EIA 568 A or B standard. Again, you have to use A or B on both sides. Commonly at desks, cubes, in offices, for PC connectivity. Connects to a patch panel in the network room. These are faceplates. They protect the jack when it's in a wall. It covers the hole in the wall, and it connects via a screw to the box in the wall. If you look to the left, you'll see a single faceplate. There are tabs at the top and the bottom. After you screw in the faceplate to the wall, you put these tabs over there so you can't see the screw. The middle one is a dual faceplate used for 2 jacks in an office, and the one all the way to the right is a quad faceplate. You can put 4. These connect to metal boxes in the wall and keeps it snug and secure. So here's our wrap up of cables. There's 4 pairs inside of cable. They include the orange, blue, green, and brown. Cat 3 used for voice and analog. Cat 5 is networking, 10 to 100 megabits a second. Use either TIA, EIA, 568, A or B. Cat 5e is networking as well, 100 megabits a second, up to 1 gig. Uses TIA, EIA, 568, A or B. Cat 6 used for networking is a gig up to 10 gigs, and it also uses a TIA, EIA 568 standard, either A or B. Cables can be bought whether in bulk or patch size. Cable standards include TIA, EIA 568A and B, and again, they must be A or B on both sides so that you can make a connection. 568A starts with the green pair, whereas 568B starts with the orange pair. There are the 8-pin connectors used as devices commonly referred to as RJ45 or registered jack 45. There's a 6-pin connector used for analog and phones, commonly referred to as the RJ11. The network jack is used to connect a PC. It connects back to a patch panel in a network room. Faceplate protects the cable and jack in the wall. It screws to a box in the wall. That is our cable wrap up. In our next section, we're going to talk about networking racks. I hope this was very informative. We will see you in the next video.